people that save money, you guys that have cash accounts, IRAs, 401ks, you got equity in your home, you're not a true hustler. A true hustler is broke.
Which is better, Bitcoin or real estate? And I think that's the wrong question.
The debate was real estate, Bitcoin, or stocks. And I'm like, guys, what about all three of them? We have figured out how to take our real estate, about $300 million worth of real estate, almost $50 million worth of Bitcoin. We merged the two together, and the real estate continues to buy Bitcoin every month out of the cash flow.
When it comes to trying to get ahead and using real estate and Bitcoin, is this like a life raft for them? Bitcoin, it gives them a way to sort of have these outsized returns.
I knew that the US dollar was going down in value. If I only have the money and it's going down in value, I can't keep up with it. It's a sinking ship. So I started buying real estate. If you could invest 80% of all your money and only live on 20, you will create wealth for yourself. Keep the tariffs on. It'll hurt. It'll be painful to the middle class. The only way the middle class gets up right now is you need to start taking cash, converting it.
And we are at the Bitcoin conference, not a real estate conference. We're talking about a Bitcoin conference here.
I think all these people can be converted, though.
They can all be converted to what? Real estate or to Bitcoin?
No, I mean, look, everybody loves real estate. Let's keep it real. Like every person in this room, if you talk to them about real estate, their pupils dilate a little bit. They want some of that stability.
Yeah, they do.
And they want the cash flow, and they want those tax write-offs.
And they want the leverage that they provide, and there's all types of benefits. So, in the Bitcoin space specifically, and we're talking about how these two worlds are colliding.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
It's like the sum is greater than the two parts.
Yeah, that's right.
So in the Bitcoin community, I started my career in real estate. I still own real estate, but in the Bitcoin community, there's a raging debate. Which is better, Bitcoin or real estate?
Yeah.
And I think that's the wrong question.
Dude, you know what? This is what got me into it. I was on a space.
Yeah.
A live spaces, and the debate, they had me in it. I was the real estate guy. And the debate was real estate, Bitcoin, or stocks. And I'm like, guys, what about all three of them? Why not have them all? Like, we have figured out how to take our real estate. We're on our fourth fund, about $300 million worth of real estate, and $45 million, almost $50 million worth of Bitcoin. We merged the two together, and the real estate continues to buy Bitcoin every month out of the cash flow. We have best-in-class real estate with best-in-class money, Bitcoin. One's liquid, one's not. One has volatility, one has zero. Like, real estate is so boring. It has a zero volatility.
Right.
Okay, it never has any problems until the debt market has problems. And, one has tremendous liquidity, one doesn't. Most of the people in this room cannot handle liquidity. Like, illiquid would be better for most of the investors here than liquidity.
Why is that?
Because when I'm illiquid, I don't get rid of my investment. I'm like, bro, I'm not getting rid of it.
You hold.
I hold.
Yeah.
And time heals all problems as long as you have enough time, particularly in real estate. And it benefits Bitcoin as well, because if you had 13 years, nobody's lost money.
Yeah.
But the same thing could be said about great real estate. The Vatican is worth more money today, despite the popes come and go, and wars and economies and dollars. The Vatican's still there, and it's bringing in more bank today than it did 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
So if you can merge the two together and then become a stock, which is what Cardone Capital is going to be. That's why I wore the ad right there. Then I have the best of the real estate, I have the best of the Bitcoin, and I have the best of being on a public company traded on the stock market.
Yeah. So when people try to frame it up that way, they're thinking too linear. Like they're trying to pit two against each other, and they're thinking like, well, which one's going up faster? But it's not about that, right? Because real estate,
it doesn't have to be that unless you're going to have that conversation. What's better, Coke or Pepsi?
Right.
Neither one of them. I mean, they're both terrible for you.
Yeah.
So.
But with real estate, we get the leverage because we have the loan.
Yeah.
We have tax efficiency because we can depreciate the asset.
Yep.
Right. We get equity principal pay down by somebody else.
You don't get that in Bitcoin.
You don't get that Bitcoin. And then with the
cash flow, you don't get
the tax efficiency I gain, I get more after-tax dollars to buy more Bitcoin.
That's right.
Right. So
and both benefit from appreciation. Both benefit from the destruction of the U.S. dollar. The real estate benefits from rent growth. That doesn't happen with Bitcoin. So that's what I'm saying. That if you could figure out how to get them both. I had a guy tell me, he's like, Grant, if you'd have taken your $5.2 billion and only owned Bitcoin, you'd be worth $20 billion. Right. I'm like, yeah, what's the point, bro? Like, you're telling me to get rid of a business to have a different business. Like, I don't need to do that. I need to figure out how to merge the two together.
The other thing I like about what your angle is as well, that I'm hearing from you anyway, is that it's also a business that's providing value. Like, you're providing homes for people.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, financial markets are great to make money, but there's not really a lot of value that's being provided there. And so we still need people to provide value to the world, give jobs, provide homes, things like that.
I can't take a Bitcoin only fund public. So, like, why would I, like, it doesn't make any sense. But I could take a real estate and Bitcoin, merge them together, and become a new product.
Yeah.
I could I could see in the future, I've already met with Fannie and Freddie, and the head of the FHFA, and said, hey, guys, they're going to be a long-term 20-year mortgage product that is Bitcoin and real estate friendly, not a margin call. Could be a long-term. It could be a 30-year mortgage on those two combined, as long as you have cash flow with the two best worlds combined.
Yeah. So can we talk about the deal? So you have a deal that you've recently announced that I believe you're then putting the cash flows into Bitcoin. Is that right?
That's right.
So none of the financing or debt is going into Bitcoin, just the cash flows from the project going into Bitcoin?
We're paying cash for both.
Okay, so you've raised money to go buy a...
No, we
could you
buy
walk
with
me
my
through it?
money.
Okay.
So we buy it off of my balance sheet.
Okay.
So I'll buy, we're doing a deal right now. It's $122 million combined.
Okay.
It's 100 and...
Where is this?
It's Miami, Florida, Miami River. I'll send you the pictures of it.
Okay.
It's 346 units. It's 122 million combined, 107 plus 15 million in Bitcoin. We pay cash for both. We close and we drop it into an LLC structure. So, and I go to my audience and say, would you like to invest in this? They invested the same price I did. All the money comes in, part of the money comes in, or no money comes in. It doesn't matter to me. I'm buying it anyway. And then what we do is we put that in a fund. Now, I've done 4 this year. I'm going to do another 8. I'm going to have a total of 12.
Okay.
And then I'm going to take them, merge them together in a public company, and bring it to the market.
But talk to me about...
And then we think we get a double or a triple in the valuation.
So you're buying real estate and Bitcoin together and putting them both together in a fund that then people can invest into. Yeah. And so what do you expect for the economics of that fund? So if I'm buying a traditional real estate fund, I'm getting a 8% preferred, maybe I'm getting a 20% IRR, but if I put a Bitcoin kicker in, then I get a much bigger upside potentially.
We're going to go from what's considered a 15 to 18% internal rate of return to 35 to 45% with zero risk. I mean, as close to zero as you can get. I'm not losing the real estate. I have no mortgage on it. I guess Bitcoin could go to zero, but somewhere down to zero, somebody's buying it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it gets to zero, but even if it did, I still have my real estate.
Right.
So I have a no loss situation. The cool thing is we're onboarding people that have never considered Bitcoin. They've heard about it, but they haven't bought any because they don't feel like they're buying the Bitcoin. They're buying the real estate that buys their Bitcoin.
Right. And that's what I love about it. I mean, Bitcoin is the first new financial asset we've had in 500 years.
Yeah.
And we try to understand it so it's sort of like this, sort of like that, but it's something new. And what we're seeing now is people like you and others that are combining it with other financial products. Auto loans.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen Battery Finance, Newmark Capital. No. They're doing it with like Class A towers. So I'm going to buy a $20 million building. They'll give me a loan for $12 million. $1 million goes into Bitcoin. And then that de-risks the position. They share on the upside of the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And so there's a bunch of different ways we're seeing this sort of financialization, but it offsets risk and provides a higher return at the same time.
Yeah. You know the banks are going to get involved.
Yeah.
But the banks are going to get involved to do what banks always do. Just a big warning. They're going to do what they've always done and have done for 1,000 years. They're going to steal your Bitcoin.
Yeah. Now in your
So don't over leverage your Bitcoin is the word there. Because banks, when you don't need money, banks will give you money. When you need money, they will turn you away every time. This is an old saying that's going on for thousands of years.
Yeah.
When they give you money for that Bitcoin, folks, they're going to they'll say, oh, I don't know if we can or we can't. And then once they agree to give you money, then they're going to want to give you another level up.
Yeah.
Avoid the next level up because that's where they're going to over margin and grab your possessions.
Now, I mean, this is amazing, and I love the ingenuity here, and I can see the competitive advantage a project like this would have over others that are trying to raise money here. But let's take it to another level here, because we're talking about billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. We were talking about, before we went live, your appearance on the Undercover Billionaire.
Yeah.
Amazing show.
Yeah.
Everyone should go watch that show. The first season was really good as well. But
with Glenn Stearns.
I mean, he was amazing.
But
I mean, yeah. But
one, he came up short.
We're talking about Grant, but everyone should go watch that show. And I told Grant I could probably do it, but I would never want to. Why would I put myself through that?
What did I say to you?
You said you wouldn't want to.
You don't want to do that.
Don't do it. Don't do it. But what I want to ask is, you've put yourself back in that middle America shoes in that role. And, we're in this sort of economy today where we have this K-shaped recovery, if you will. Like the top have never been richer, but like there's the bottom sort of falling out as well. Yeah. And obviously you're doing
the middle's falling out.
The middle's collapsing and really getting that big divide. And you do multifamily housing, so you're sort of serving that market a little bit. So I'm curious what your take is, for that type of, for that bottom part of the economy, when it comes to trying to get ahead and using real estate and Bitcoin. I mean, how do you look at them? Is this like a life raft for them? Bitcoin, it gives them a way to sort of have these outsized returns, sort of a cheat code?
Yeah. Look, I think I got involved in multifamily apartment investing as a cheat code. I knew the U.S. dollar was going down in value. I know how to hustle money. I know how to get money from people. I know how to sell. I know how to market. I know how to get an audience to give me money. But then I'm like, if I only have the money and it's going down in value, I can't keep up with it. It's a sinking ship. So I started buying real estate 35 years ago. And I was only doing it. It's not like I wanted to own real estate. Bed bugs and termites. And But I didn't want my money getting destroyed either. Like I knew enough about money to know that money was being destroyed. Number one, that's a hack for the people at the bottom of the K, right? So you got to get,
which is what? Don't
hustle money,
hustle
fiat.
money.
Don't spend it, invest all of it. Like it's close to 80%. If you could invest 80% of all your money and only live on 20, you will create wealth for yourself. So hustle the fiat and then convert it to something where you can't lose. Like I am still doing Undercover Billionaire. The reason I knew I could do it is I never have money. Like I have more cash in my pocket today than I have in months. Because most of the time I go places with no money because I know that people solve all my problems.
Okay.
So the best thing to do is
relationships.
Oh yeah, people talking to her. Do you have any money on you? Could you lend me $20? Could you lend me 20?
He's probably good for it.
Who's got $20 that they can lend me? See, this is the
I
greatest.
see someone going in a purse right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody will help me. Now, thank you so much. Thank you. I'll get it to you the next time I see you. Okay? So, see, this is how you hustle money.
Yeah.
You don't need a product. You don't need to manufacture something. You need to hustle people. Now, I can't hustle her and rip her off. Right. I told her, next time I see you, I'll give it back to you. And I should give her $30 back when I see her next time. Now, the question is, what are you guys going to do when you have the 20? Because most people are degenerates. This place has more degenerates in one location. Okay, if there was a bomb went off in this building right now, you would lose 2/3 of the degenerates.
And smack dab in Vegas.
In Vegas.
Right,
okay, so I think they lowered the prices for the Bitcoin people to come to Vegas just because they know they're going to get 3 or 4 times that on the table.
Yeah.
So my point is, when you get fiat, don't keep it, man. Get rid of it. Get it away from your wife. Get it away from the kids. Get it away from holidays. Now, what are you going to convert it to? I bought real estate, but the real estate is slow, right? It's like, it moves like this, very slow. When we started adding Bitcoin, I just took the cash flow from the real estate and bought $20 worth of Bitcoin and another 20. Whatever the cash flow was, we started converting it to Bitcoin purchases. Well, that Bitcoin can soar. It can do this too. Yeah. But as long as I have long periods of time, I don't care. So what's better than Bitcoin you buy? Bitcoin that your real estate buys.
I love it.
It's a no-brainer. And I'm telling you, I'm gonna crush Starwood and the KKRs and the Avalon Bays and the Camdens that have been buying real estate for 50 years. They control real estate markets, the Met Lights, the New York Lights, the Harvard. I'm gonna crush them. And this will happen in a very short period of time with this real estate Bitcoin hybrid, where institutional money's not gonna want to be in that 8% preferred return anymore. They're going to want this money.
100%. You're going to mop that up. I just want to hit.
We're going to make a rumble.
I want to hit just on what you said, though, because it's so important. Go out and hustle. You need to make the money. Too many people I see, and I'm sure they're trying to invest their way to wealth. It's not how it works. You got to hustle the money and then invest it.
You only have so much hustle if you have money. That's why people that save money, you guys that have cash accounts, IRAs, 401ks, you got equity in your home, you're not a hustler. You're not a true hustler. A true hustler is broke. You cannot be a true hustler if you got an insurance account. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any life insurance. And people are like, man, isn't that irresponsible? No. Okay? I don't have an emergency account. There's no 90-day account. I have free cash flow coming in, and I'm asset rich, and I'm cash poor all the time.
Yeah. Now, back to the plan, taking the real estate, the cash flow, buying the Bitcoin. I think you're going to smoke everybody in the market. It's the best product out there for sure. Gosh, dude, and you have a very good head start. Yeah. The future is not evenly distributed, so you got a good head start on these people. I'm sure you've been seeing the big news. Obviously, Michael Saylor sort of leading the charge in the Bitcoin treasury strategy plays. Yeah. So then using the financial markets to lever up the balance sheet, continue to buy more Bitcoin, kind of pushing that MNAV. Your business is sort of situated almost perfectly for a strategy like that. Yeah.
Well, but I got to be public first. So I met with Mike maybe June of last year, maybe later than that. When did we meet with Saylor? How many?
3 months ago.
Oh, it was this year. Sorry. That's my time.
Yeah.
So I think we met January, February, maybe. I've done my fourth fund since I met him.
Yeah. Okay.
So he was telling me, he said, Grant, you have a trusted audience. It's a big audience. You've never violated their trust. He knows my career. And he's like, this isn't a short period of time. It's been a long period of time. You should take your audience, continue to do what you're doing. You need to become a public company and then do exactly what I'm doing. I said, Mike, I'm not a public company.
Not yet.
And Mike said, that's your problem. And I said, how do I do it without being public? Bro, I told you how to do it. Leave and go do it.
Yeah.
I had another meeting with him a week later. I said, I have an idea. And I said, I'm going to buy real estate. I'm going to add Bitcoin. And we're going to then buy more Bitcoin out of the cash flow. He's like, what ratio? I said, 85-15. He got it immediately. And he said, no offense to you ladies. He said, or to the ladies on Rumble, he says, that's a fund. I said, what do you mean, bro? I said, I'll be at 50-50 at year 4. He's like, that's interesting. So by year 4, without me spending any of my own money, this fund, $1 billion of real estate, will have $500 million of Bitcoin. And I'm going to take it public later. I'm just going to reverse what you've done.
Yeah.
And I'll get the same. I'll get to the same place he's at. I'm just going to be a little behind.
Yeah. Well, not the 550,000 Bitcoin, but I understand what you're saying. I think it's a perfect vehicle for it. It's somewhere that I've spent a lot of time thinking about, and I love the combination of the two. So, and
you should do the same thing, and then we'll combine the two.
I am doing the same thing.
Okay, good.
Not in real estate, but maybe I'll work with you on it.
Okay.
But no, just kind of coming back kind of full circle here. We had talked about before we were recording and going on that show.
Yeah.
And really the power of leading by example.
Yeah.
And so like Saylor did it. Now you can follow the example.
Yeah.
You can do it. Other people can lead by follow that example as well. And I think that's how really the world changes, right? We lead by positive change. Maybe one last subject before we start to wrap this up. Talking about leading by example, I live in California.
Yeah.
Like we're talking like,
oh my God,
we're talking about like a blue state that should be a red state. I think if we had like voter ID, maybe we'd be a red state. We need someone to come in and just kind of kick us over the edge.
Yeah.
Is someone going to come help us? What's going on?
Well, the thing in California, I love California so much. If you've ever been there, if you've seen the movies, like California attracts a certain breed of people and has for years. I mean, it's a legendary, epic, phenomenal place in the universe. And it's probably the greatest resource America has. I mean, for you guys that live in Indianapolis or you live in Memphis or Midwest or Southeast or New York, but it ain't no place like California. I don't care where you go on planet Earth. South of France didn't like it. Portugal's not. No place like California.
Yeah.
It should be saved and it needs to be saved.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't think this is a Democrat problem. I think this is they're not Democrats, bro, that have ruined the state of California. The Democrats are fine. It's the extreme ideologies, and it's not incompetence. I believe it's intentionally trying to steal the state of California from the people. And so the two guys that are running right now, I'm calling out these guys right now, Bianco and Steve Hilton. I love you guys. You're great. There ain't no chance you do this. You don't have the fortitude, man. I mean, the person that pulls this off, it can be flipped. I believe 100%.
Yeah.
You could flip the state of California red. But it will not be because you're fighting Democrats. It will be because what they've done to that state is indefensible.
Yeah.
Okay? You have the highest taxes, the highest crime rates. You have the highest homelessness. You have the highest gas prices, highest house prices, highest rents.
And the worst infrastructure.
The worst infrastructure. You've destroyed the entire state.
Yeah.
And it was only a handful of people that did it. And all you got to do is you got to be, whoever does this has to be almost like very Trump similar.
Yeah.
And they got to be vicious, and they got to call it out, and they have to have nothing to lose, or they're willing to lose everything to pull it off. And unfortunately, I don't think the two guys that are running right now have that.
Are you willing? Maybe?
I would be willing to do it because I know I have the characteristics to do it if the state was willing to do it, because you got to go deeper than Sacramento, bro. You got to take out the Coastal Commission. Coastal Commission has to go. All the environmental groups have to go. This is fucking, it's fraud at the greatest levels.
Yeah.
And you need a communicator. You need somebody so persuasive.
Yeah.
So convinced that you can flip it in this cycle. And you also have to, you're going to have to convince people that don't believe it can be flipped, which is the Republican Party.
Yeah.
The Republican Party doesn't even believe in the Republican Party.
Yeah. I mean, the parties are all mixed up now. We have basically a Republican Party in the presidential administration that's led by Democrats, previous Democrats, right? So it's all flip-flop. I would say we have a spark. Like the world, the pendulum 100%. Has shifted back big time right now. Here at the Bitcoin conference, just 2 years ago, we were under attack from the Biden administration. We had we were calling it Operation Choke Point, right? The banks were choking crypto, Bitcoin off. And now we have President Trump, full pro Bitcoin. And so
it's like a completely different world.
It's a completely different world that we're in right now.
And that's why I think California can be flipped, because we're in a different world right now where people are starting to see, like at the 10-year Treasury drop right now, 1.5 points, Donald Trump will go down as the greatest economic president. There's only one thing between Donald Trump right now saving the entire United States. It's the 10-year Treasury. It's not Putin, not Ukraine. It's one thing, that goddamn 10-year Treasury. If it could just drop, and I think they have a way to do that.
Yeah. So you're bullish on the forecast of America and the Trump administration?
Oh, dude, I would keep those tariffs on until you choke out everybody. Keep the tariffs on. It'll hurt. It'll be painful to the middle class. But look, everything's painful to the middle class right now because the middle class doesn't work.
Yeah.
The middle class cannot get up from where it's at no matter what happens. The only way the middle class gets up right now is you need to start taking cash, converting it to real assets that then convert into better assets. Never have cash. Quit spending your money. Quit buying Gucci's. Quit buying Chanel. It's bullshit. It's a scam. Quit buying Toyotas and Mercedes and sneakers for your kids. Quit buying houses. Quit investing in these Vanguard funds. Take your money, put it into real assets, let the real assets buy Bitcoin or even a better asset, and just wait till you get wealthy. And then spend whatever you want to spend, however you want to spend it.
There we go. We're going to wrap it up with that. Grant Cardone. Follow the example. Don't listen to what he says. Do what he does.
Do what I do.